Welcome to the Copperhead Road Homestead. Glad you came today. Come and see what we're doing. Somebody asked me about the video on elderberry trees and wanted some cuttings. So I wanted to show you today how you make some cuttings, how I did mine anyway. There might be other ways to do this. I found some information online about cutting first year growth on your elderberries, cutting it at the base, and then that'll come back again. And as I said in that video, if you remember, and I'll put a link to it up above, if I can figure out how to do that. I'm kind of new to this. Anyway, if you cut at the bottom, that'll come back, and that kind of is consistent with what I found about my elderberries. I did cut them all away. For a couple of years I cut them all away, tried to get rid of them all, and they kept on coming back. Now I'm just embracing them. But if you cut at the bottom, then all that'll come back, and you can use all those areas or all those cuttings to grow new plants. So here we are at my elderberries. What I'm going to do again is I'm going to cut down at the very bottom, and then whenever I cut it, I'll show you a bit more on what I'm doing. So what you want to do for every cutting that you put in the ground, one way that they do it often is to cut it very diagonal at the bottom. So that way you know that the diagonal side goes down in the ground. So if you scatter them, if you drop them, then you always know the diagonal side goes down. And you want to try to get at least a couple of these buds. You see the bud right there. You want to get a couple of those buds, at least 2 or 3 sets of them, so you'll have something that buds above the ground and something that'll root underground. So I'm going to cut this back just a little bit more, so I can fit it in the package that I want to send it in. And then I'm going to get this one right up here at the top. I'm going to cut that back. So if you plant this, what you'll do is, what I did anyway, all I did was just stick it right in the ground. Elderberries want to root and they want to live. You can put some rooting hormone on there, but it's best probably if you make a little hole first. You can use a piece of rebar, you can use a screwdriver, use something like that, and then push it down, and then put it back down in there softly. So a piece of rebar or screwdriver, make the hole in the ground, and then stick it in there, and then this part will be sticking out. So make sure, if you're the one that I'm cutting these for, or if you're doing it, that you have at least one of the buds underground, and then or one or a set of the buds, because this has opposite buds. You see one here on one here, so make sure that's underground, and that's where some of the roots will come out, and then these will start budding out and making an elderberry tree for you. So I've got about 10 or 11 cuttings here, and what I'm going to do, and I'll let you know later, I'll let my subscriber is going to let me know what happened. I'm going to wrap this in some moist towels, and then wrap that in cellophane, and then just put this in the mail. I'm going to send it first class. That's the cheapest way. And then I will, they'll stick these in the ground, and I'll let you know how they do. Hope you enjoyed this little video on making cuttings. These are elderberry cuttings. There's some cuttings, willow are really easy to root, they say. There are other things that are quite easy to root, black locust, and I think Osage orange. Some of these are wild trees that really want to live. There's another way of rooting things as well that I've done with my blackberries, that you just take the blackberry and you put it down in the ground and put some soil on top of it. It's called air layering, and that's been really effective. I'll show you my blackberry patch another time. But if you like stuff like this, I hope you'll click that bell notification, and you'll subscribe, and you'll come back as often as possible. Thanks for coming.